Alright, time for, I think, August ScrawlrBox? It's always hard to remember which is which because it never really comes on time. Ooh, that feels nice. Okay, alright. Open this up so I can get to the menu. I see colors. Ooh. Always like it when there's a little sticker. ScrawlrBox. Yeah, August. I was right. Okay. Alright, what is this big old packet of things? Because it looks cute. It is the Chameleon color blending Fineliners. I know these are known because they transition really easily with the two. Open those up. A little packet. Aww. For journals, writing, doodling. Use like any ordinary fineliner. So you just switch caps and changes colors on them. Oh, that's cool because I know usually the markers is this little thing. Okay. So yeah, you just switch the caps. But don't do it for over 30 seconds. Dun 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 dun. Make sure you always keep the right cap on. Okay. Read more of that later. Let's see, do they have any names? I think they go this way. Yeah, we have a gray that's CG 8.3. Got like a pink PK5. Got kind of like a mint BG3. Got a blue BV4. A kind of red-orange RD3. And then a yellow in YL2. I already know this guy. The Staedtler Lumograph 4H pencil. No, I don't have 4H. A Pilot DR drawing pen 5. I do like Pilot. It's open. Made in Japan. Ooh, it's got a little plastic nib. Ooh, what are you? Fruitella. It looks like it's lemon flavor. Crok'Book by Clairefontaine. 24 sheets of white 160 GSM PEFC paper in a 270G Maya card cover, made in France with a fine-toothed surface, acid-free. Ooh, that's nice. Yuck. And then we got this guy. All colorful. Featured artist this month is Jonathan Knight. He'll be in the description below. Looks like he used the medium. Like what came in the box. See, this month's challenge is Rainbow Renaissance. Alright, let's get started. Hey guys! Okay, so I put the sticker on the little sketchbook because I always like, if I can put the sticker on something that came in the box, then that's just what I do. But anyways, I swatched all the good stuff out. These pins are really interesting in the whole way that they work, how there's another barrel of ink in the top, which is freaky in itself. But they're really easy to use. No problem really, you can write, draw. It was fun playing with them and testing out, because I've never had Chameleon markers before, and it was fun playing with the Fineliners because it's amazing that how it works, because you're just like, but no, it just transitions easily, as long as you follow directions. But I can tell you, when you start switching between colors so much, you kind of need to make sure you're taking a moment and double checking which pen is in your hand, what ink is gonna come out first, because I know, like, later on I just kind of mess up here and there because I forgot what I was holding and what was going to come out were two different things. But you know, they're really great. No smudging. The paper is amazing. Minimal bleeding. You know, if you constantly ink over one area, it's gonna bleed through. But there was minimal bleeding. I would love it if I could find it here in the States. It's a French sketchbook, but it's kind of hard to find it well, I tried Amazon and I tried their website, and both were kind of like, eh. Not that it wasn't there, just wasn't really like reassuring. The formatting, it wasn't just like, you know, there's always that concern when you buy something online. But anyways, I digress. It'd be really great to find it though. They, you know, the darker ones show up better when you draw over the lighter ones. But, you know, overall, they're just no much bleeding and not much like rubbing. You know, it dries pretty quickly, which is really great. It doesn't really react negatively with the graphite. Of course, you know, graphite smudges. That's why it's important to erase it first. Other than that, they were really great. So then came time to sketch out ideas, and the prompt, the little challenge this month is Rainbow Renaissance. And they talk about bringing the 21st century, you know, bringing classical art into the 21st century. And I was just like, oh man, it's been forever. And I cannot remember much classical art with like counts as Renaissance art anymore. So I had to Google it and pick it out. So first I was like, well, I do like the feature artist. You know, he did Michelangelo's David, and he just basically redrew it. And I was just like, do I want to do that? But, you know, I wasn't really feeling that idea of, I mean, once I started looking through photos, like I just Googled Renaissance paintings, and I started going through it, and I was like, oh, I don't know. And I sketched out the Birth of Venus. You know, I like that because I love drawing cute girls. It's just I'm better at drawing a woman, probably because I am a woman. It's easier to check like with my own body, like, is this pose right? But anyways, and so I was like, I want to redraw the Birth of Venus, and I wasn't really clicking with it. And then I remembered they said bring it to the 21st century, so I thought, well, why not have the Venus currently? And so instead of her coming out of a shell, I have her in a pool on a shell floaty, just chilling out with an iPhone, listening music, and, you know, just chilling in the pool. And I decided to go with that. You know, I sketched it out. I used my trusted Milan eraser and one of my, you know, because once you need it, you have no idea what brand or name it is if you don't save it. And one of my kneaded erasers. And I just, you know, built up the sketch a couple times until I liked it, and then I inked it with the black. And I figured I'd bring in the colors with some cross-hatching with the Fineliners. So I definitely struggled with those Fineliners because the pen was great. It's, you know, basic inking pen, doesn't smudge, is pretty good. But the Fineliners, definitely a learning curve. I love them and I want to play with them more in this sketchbook, like just dedicate this little sketchbook to playing with that, because I want to get into inks more. I mostly just use them for line art, but I want to try using them as like the main medium and start practicing now for Inktober. Just because I don't do much with them except fine line, so I want to try doing more with them. So they're fun, but you gotta be careful, because I know I'll just grab something and it's like, oh, that's the thing I need. But with these, you have to be careful, especially when you might not be grabbing the right lid, or you might not be using the right thing. So I would grab something and forget. I just did an ink transfer onto it and start at the wrong end of something, and that happened a couple times of just me like, you just did this. and you just forgot at the same time. But it was really fun. I really love the sketchbook and the pens, and I'm excited to play with them more. Just the only thing I noticed is that, because they like do one segment, 10-second, 15-second segments of like holding the cap on there, and I found that like when I try to do the gray to like a darker color like the blue or the pink, something with really high contrast, high saturation, it would take longer than a second, because like I was like, oh, I just need to do like a quick little blend right there, and it's like, nope, you have to hold it for longer if you want it to take, just because the gray is pretty light compared to those in saturation terms. But other than that, they worked really well together, and it was surprising. It didn't really matter if you did a light color on top of a dark color or the other way around. It would start flowing the original color eventually, and it's interesting the colors you get between the two. It's definitely something with a learning curve and something to get used to and be mindful of when you're using it. Because I know I almost put up like one of my markers with the wrong lid on, and I was like, oh my god, glad I caught that. So just double check all the time. And I think that's pretty much it. This one's pretty straightforward. Pens, do it. But it was definitely a lot of fun, because it's funny how like I'll be thinking about something and I just magically get it in my ScrawlrBox. It's weird. But yeah, definitely love the materials, and excited to play with them more, and excited to see what other colors I have, just because some of these colors weren't really like the true color. Like that green was kind of, it was a blue green, and I might have liked more of a true, like a neutral green, not really warm or cool, because it's like a cool green, and like a less warmer red. Like I feel like it had too much yellow, just because it felt more orange than it did red, or maybe just a higher saturation. I don't know. Either way, it would have been. I probably might get more like truer neutral colors, just because it's always nice to have the not really too warm, not really too cool, like nice neutral, like primaries especially, just because it makes it a little easier. But yeah, I might expand on these depending on the price, because expensive and broke. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video of me cross-hatching, messing up, like right now with the bikini. Yeah, it still had something left on it, and then I tried to transition the blue to a gray to kind of like make the blue the shadow, and did not work out. So like, subscribe, comment, whatever you guys feel like, and I'll see you soon. Bye!